here with North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein answering your questions live. Remember, if you want your question answered, just text it to 336-379-5775. This text question is, does the AG's office get involved if there are concerns about election fraud?
Great question. The government agency that deals with election fraud is the North Carolina State Board of Elections. And you can just Google North Carolina State Board of Elections and their contact information will come up, so that if you have concerns about fraud, please let them know. I am their lawyer and I represent them when they have legal matters, but they are the agency that administers our elections, make sure that they're fair and easy and secure, but at the same time, they also investigate any alleged crime.
This text question says, I have filled a price gouging complaint out. It's been there since March, but I haven't received any updates. How do I find out the status of my price gouging complaint?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Absolutely call the office, 877-5-NO-SCAM, 877-5-NO-SCAM. That's our toll-free number. And just, if you have the information from your original complaint, you can give them the form number, but otherwise just tell them who you are and what you were calling about, and they should be able to give you an update.
All right, and this is kind of a piggyback on top of that. Someone said, I get that there may have been price gouging for certain supplies like masks or toilet paper when COVID first hit. Is your office seeing a price gouging trend transition to different kinds of products or services?
We received more than 2,000 price gouging complaints, and the vast majority of them happened in probably the first 4 to 6 weeks after the pandemic really struck. So I'm talking about March and April. Since that time, the number of price gouging complaints have diminished substantially, but we are still looking into the ones that had been filed, and we brought 2 lawsuits already, and we're considering another, because just because it's no longer happening doesn't mean we don't want to hold those wrongdoers accountable, because 1, they may have taken advantage of people, and 2, we want all sellers to know when there is a state of emergency, do not prey on people's desperation. Do the right thing, and if you don't, we're going to come after you.
This text, actually we got 2 of them, but this one is the first one to ask. I just received one of those calls on my voicemail about the Social Security and about my number has been compromised. I know it's a scam, but what do I do? Well,
the first thing you do is don't respond. If it's a phone call, you can hang up. If it's a text, you can delete it. But you can also let my office know. We have an online reporting system. It's ncdoj.gov/NoRobo. And we take complaints from people so we can learn what are the next trends, what's happening out there, so we can issue fraud alerts to educate other people so they don't become victims. We can use them to help us set our enforcement priorities. And we also share those with our federal partners, the FCC and FTC, that also enforces the law against these wrongdoers.
All right, this person is asking about what types of scams do you know of linked to the pandemic? It's hard to know what's real and what's not.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's it. What criminals do is they exploit kind of mass confusion, uncertainty, fear, and desperation to try to steal people's money or their personal information. And so if you can dream it up, we have seen it. We've seen it from the IRS about people's economic impact payment. We've seen price gouging over masks. We've seen just this example about Duke Energy we talked about a minute ago, about having your utilities disconnected. That's a result of the pandemic, because so many people are struggling financially. The criminals know that, and they try to steal their last buck. So anything you can think of, it's happening. The bottom line is, be very suspicious. If somebody calls you, emails you, texts you, and you don't know who they are, or even if it sounds like an official organization, do not respond, because you have no idea that they are who they say they are. Instead, do what Tanya recommended earlier. Go to a third-party source, get the actual phone number, call them and ask them, is there anything you need to be worried about?
Yeah, this is a follow-up to that. They've said, I received text messages concerning illegal charges on my Amazon account, and I'm prompted to either press 1 or press 2. And I should do what with that?
Well, it can be real. I mean, this is the problem with these situations where we're so dependent on technology. I had the same thing where my son did a sign on with our Amazon account, and I got a text saying, "Is it legit?" And I asked him, "Did you do this?" And he said, "Yes." And so I said, "Yes." But I confirmed it with him before I responded so that I was actually confident it was Amazon and not somebody pretending to be Amazon. Again, you can always just call Amazon or email them directly by going through their website rather than responding to a text that you really don't know where it comes from.
And we did have the robocall information up there as well. We have the links to the no scam phone number and also the website in case you need to make a complaint on our website. Thank you so much for joining us today, lending us your expertise. We appreciate it.
Penny, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Hey, if you missed any of this, maybe you jumped in on the second segment, you wanted to hear what the AG had to say about things, it's going to be on our website and also on our YouTube page as well. We've got an article with all of this on there and the resources. Just check the 2 Wants to Know section.